I taught 7th grade English for 5 years, and I used to make my students memorize poems and perform them, and I would critique them. And I'm going to do a poem before this letter. And my students are all grown up now, so hopefully they're watching, and they're more than welcome to critique me. This is a poem that I memorized in 9th grade for extra credit. It was the shortest poem in the book, but kind of stuck with me. Close Up by A.R. Ammons. Are all these stones yours? I said. And the mountain pleased, but reluctant to admit my praise could move it much, shook itself and rained a windrow ring of stones to show that it was so. Stone felled, addled with dust, I got up and shook myself without much consequence. Obviously, I said, it doesn't pay to get too close up to greatness. And the mountain, friendless, wept and said it couldn't help itself. Now here's my letter. Dear Uncle Ronnie, when my mother spoke of you, a look of awe lit up her face. You were the one voice in her life that could inhabit multiple worlds at once. She could disagree with you and love you all the same. My mother brooks no argument. She allows no dissent. What's right is right, except with you. You stood for everything she was afraid I would become: gay, intellectual, and godless. And yet nothing caused my mother's face to light up like your memory. I was jealous, and I always hoped to be you. I didn't know when I began to study literature and languages and Eastern philosophy in college, when I fell in love with my best friend, I didn't know this was your path as well. The thing is, Uncle Ronnie, when you were that loved by someone, that dear, that tightly held in someone's heart, and you go out into a road and you shoot yourself, you're gonna cause a ripple, a stink, a wave, a big, stuttering, stupendous, brainless pain. It was painful on the front page of the paper. It was painful in the living room. It was painful in bed at night when the lights went out. Your ex-sister, ex-wife, ex-children, ex-nephew, because isn't that all that's left when you're dead? Ex-relationships, ex-lives. They were there, and they hurt then, and they hurt still. I've heard that so many choices exist at once that there must be multiple worlds to contain them. In that world, where you take a .25 caliber pistol and put it to your heart, now there's a world I wasn't thinking of. There's a world that really does increase your options spread out your voice like milk spilled upon the breakfast table. Suddenly, you are speaking to everyone at once. Suddenly, you are screaming at everyone at once. Suddenly, the whole world is crying over your slow-to-dry spilled milk. It's not that it was a bad choice, or was it? Is there a way to decide the good from the bad when the decision is between living and dying? Can you rank them A, B, C, D? Can you spell out the pros and the cons of life or ex-life? If there is a way to decide the good from the bad, well, mister, I've not seen it. I've seen pain and loss and sorrow and pain and loss and sorrow. I would have held you in my arms had I been a man at the time, in June of 1982, and not just some kid. I would have held you, but there's no one holding you because you're holding on to no one. And now I'm here sharing the same destiny. I'm gay. I'm divorced. Like you, I'm terrified that no judge will let a gay man raise his children. Your path and mine are crossed. They intersect, and they fold and bend and twist upon each other in some ridiculous dance. Ridiculous. Ridiculous is what I do not want to be, wasted on the ground with the gun in my hand. This is not for me. In so many ways, I am you, and you are me. Did you come back somehow? Yank me into the grave when I was 7 and fill me with your essence? How did you copy yourself in my thoughts and my actions and my needs? Because for me, like you, literature and languages and women were not enough. It was men that beguiled us, that moved our senses. Is this your story too? And why, fuck you fucking bastard, did you do it? Why did you leave me here without a hand to hold, without a shoulder to cry on, without a chest to lean on? Why must your path, your trajectory, that bullet, be the only example you have left me? If there are any bad choices in this world, it's this: the loss of hope and the decision to run from yourself. It's the running from everyone, including yourself, that was wrong. This is what left me bereft, bereaved, and grieving. This is the wailing and the weeping on the floor every night, and the gnashing of teeth that they so ardently promise me will meet this here faggot in hell. I don't know where you are. In the silence, it's too hard to tell. Dear Uncle Ronnie,
I started writing this letter 5 years ago, and I want to tell you, it was rough in the beginning. I was pretty angry, but keep reading. It gets better.
Cars are parked out back, staring through the cracks, and soon the bodies fill the room. Don't want you to assume I know that we were just alright. Turn on the hazard lights, it takes a miracle. Fooling with the lock at the door, sung to sleep by siren rain. I'll come down, stand in the middle of the street from where we washed out. Find the flood swept feet from off your house when the rain comes down. Taping up the window panes over this old town, where we'll stop old plots in parking